Hi everyone, or just one. I have no idea how many people might actually watch this. So when I last left my my audience, I was recounting the story of having crashed into the stop sign pole when I was running, and that was the beginning of my new adventure, my new current adventure, or rather a renewal of my adventure. Um, I might even go so far as to call it um, my rebirth. And I know that that sounds really big to say, but I say it sincerely because it's entirely true. Um, when I came home from the afternoon of having gotten the diagnosis, I remember very, very clearly sitting on my couch and staring at the wall. And as I sat there, um, I guess really just absorbing what was going on, it was as if a literal window opened up um, on the wall that I was facing. I can almost see it in my mind's eye now. And it wasn't an actual glass window with a window frame, but it was some sense of a window, of an opening. And in that moment, something inside me said that no matter what else happened or what else that I did, the most important thing for me to do was to point myself toward God in everything. And I knew that all of my energy and all of my thoughts and all of my intentions, though I didn't call it that then. I wasn't using the word intention, but in fact I realize now that's what they were. All of my focus had to be toward putting myself in God. And I'll explain what I mean by that because I know that the word God um, carries a lot of weight and um, can convey a multiplicity of different things to different people. So I want to start by maybe saying that for me, the word God feels most accurate um, and most personal. But for someone else, it might be the universe or source or the great intelligence that creates us or the creator or mother earth or father. But for me, I use the word God, and and I say it with power behind it because part of my process of committing to that exercise of putting myself and my spirit in God was learning to not be apologetic about using that word. Um, and the reason why is because whenever I was trying to explain this story to other people, and I got to this part where I was trying to, use the word God to explain what I was experiencing, there was a part of me that felt apologetic. There was a part of me that felt like that person would um, either not understand what I was saying or um, dismiss my story because they didn't have their own sense of what it meant to have an experience of God. And so, um, and so my commitment at that time was to use the word God unapologetically as my way of honoring the the divine life force that has unfolded me into this world. And so, having said that, um, there I was on the couch, having made that decision. And earlier in the videos, when I had talked about um, the earlier part of my life where I was, you know, so fascinated by all things invisible, uh, the miraculous, the synchronicities, um, all of the parts of the quantum world that we are now more understanding, um, are helping us and helping us to recognize that there's a dimension of our existence that far surpasses, is far deeper, more complex than the five senses tell us reality is. And so this is the place where I want to convey to you why I called this video series Informed, the Matter of Mind. And you'll notice, of course, in the title that informed is spelled IN-formed. And the reason is because, as I mentioned earlier, Bruce Lipton, who talked about having intention deficit disorder, when we have the intention to focus on our inner being, and I'll say more about that, then we can begin to inhabit ourselves in a way that transforms, transmutes, alchemizes who we are from the inside out, from spirit to matter. And so it's so important to recognize this, to first acknowledge, I think, to acknowledge that this dimension of our existence is real, in order to then have access to the bridge that allows us to inhabit it more deeply and work within it so that we can literally co-create ourselves in the world. So what I've been thinking about recently is how we spend so much time talking about the need to pay attention to our atmosphere. But what I want to say is we have to first pay attention to our inner sphere in order to make changes in our atmosphere. It's our inner sphere that is the playground, the environment. See what I did there? The environment that allows us to create who we are on the outside in relationship with the physical world, and all that entails, meaning the actual environment, the atmosphere, and the people that we engage with in our relationships. So now that you understand why I called this Informed, I want to reflect some more on the kinds of things that have happened to me along the way that have allowed me to engage my inner sphere more deeply so that I could begin to transform from the inside and allow that transformation to become a manifestation of who I am as a physical body, a physical human being living through this earth. And I say through this earth because we're so used to talking about, living on planet Earth. But when you really think about it, we're not living on planet Earth. Planet Earth is living through us. We all know and have heard many times that we're made mostly of water, of minerals. We are literally electric beings with electric currents running through us. Just ask anyone who's had an electrocardiogram, an electroencephalogram, ask any scientist, and they'll tell you that we have electromagnetic fields. So we are literally made of fire, of earth, of water. And air. We are the elements. So we are not living on planet Earth. We are planet Earth.